heading north here on Route 443. I'm heading up to Pine Grove. I want to see if I can do a quick video at Sweet Arrow Lake. It's something that I've talked about. It's a nice day today. I figured I'd head up there. Figured as I go along here, we've done this section of the road a couple times. Figured I'd give a quick surmisal of some of the stuff that I'm going to be trying to get through today and through this week to try to start getting the channel humming again soundly. It's just sort of been, there's a lot on my plate right now and trying to take care of that stuff, and you just get to the stage where you're so tired and just sort of exhausted physically and psychologically, trying to just get things solved and taken care of, that it sort of takes the wind out of your sails to a degree. I'm doing well though, doing really well. I got dismissed or discharged, I should say, from at-home nursing care. Now I'm maintaining, doing my changes with my feet. That probably won't have to go on for very much longer. I have an appointment again this Thursday to just sort of go over everything, and hopefully here in the next week or so, 2 weeks, then I wind out getting set up for getting stuff taken care of with my the new specialized shoes. They had to do a mold of my feet and then make a prosthesis filler for my left shoe because a third of my foot is now no longer with us. But anyways, so I wanted to give a couple things that I'm going to be looking at trying to get going this week and going from there. I also wanted to say another shout out and a thank you to Sam and Carol for the gift that they sent. I really do appreciate that. All the letters and the emails and comments that I get, I really do appreciate it. It builds up your spirit when you're going through this stuff. So, but I'm doing well. It's just it just sort of takes it out of you. You know, you're battling for so long, and it just sort of is what it is. But anyways, the Union Canal, I'm hoping maybe in the next week or two I'll be able to get there to do that. They have it closed down for a day because the water's so low. So unfortunately, I was hoping today to go take care of that, to get the tunnel part 2 of the Union Canal tunnel done. Unfortunately, that will not happen today, so I decided I'll go somewhere else to just do whatever, and I decided, hey, let's go up to Pine Grove and check that out. I might wind out doing stopping by Gunkel Cemetery just to go over the new memorials that are there and maybe run through the cemetery again, you know, do that again, because I think some of the stuff that I've done in the past, I might wind out doing them with a little bit more information, because I'm finding out more and more, thanks to Jared. I watched his and his dad's video from Cornwall Iron Furnace that they did on the education in Lebanon County. I found that really extraordinarily interesting. Learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know before. I also have been watching part 2. I think I got about 20 some minutes through there, and it's just cool because I love the architecture, I love the history, knowing what was where. And there was one building that I knew it was a schoolhouse, but I didn't know what the name was, and I found that out, and I thought that was pretty cool. I want to take pictures of it because it's an old schoolhouse, and it's still standing today. It's a really pretty building too. But I also have been watching a couple other things on the railroads of Cornwall, which that was really interesting. I've also a gentleman that did a lecture on the Pennsylvania historic markers of the Lebanon Valley. So it was also included some of them into Dauphin and a couple into Berks, I believe. But that was really interesting. I've done most of those, but there are a few in there that I haven't, that I'd like to get to. but I need to do a little bit more research on them for the videos, just to talk more in depth about them. But very cool, very happy with that. I was enjoying those videos, and thank you to the Cornwall Iron Furnace for putting up that channel. And I think it's the Friends of Cornwall Iron Furnace that sponsor that. And so all the lectures, very, very cool what they do with that. But anyways, I'm learning a lot with that and getting some more ideas, a lot more information, the facts about what actually happened with those things, which will make for some really cool videos for those channels, the more information and knowledge that I get from that. But so one of the series that I'm going to be starting, this wasn't planned, is but I'm getting all these viewer submitted videos from Colleen and Cheryl and Kim and Angela. I thought it'd be cool to make something called Hometown Destinations, which I'll wind out adding a bunch of other videos onto that series, if you will, that before the series was actually a series. But you can add the playlist, I guess is what you call it, on YouTube channel. But it'd be something that's sort of like historical destinations that you can go and visit, because the next one I'm doing is in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, from Cheryl and her son Chris for Sun Plus One, their YouTube channel. It's in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. It's the first or the oldest Moravian buildings in the United States. One's called Gray Cottage, and off the top of my head, I can't think of what the really cool stone building is there, but Gray Cottage is the oldest Moravian building in the United States. So that's the next one I'm going to do, but it's it's like a museum and just a park, a cool place to go. And then the next one after that I'm going to do from Colleen is the Zane Grey House. Anybody that's familiar with Western authors, Zane Grey, Louis L'Amour, those are like the premier Western authors. We've also talked about like frontier authors, going up here to Pine Grove, Conrad Richter. Now, a lot of his stuff was done set in Ohio Valley, because he had lived there for a while in the Cleveland area, so that's sort of where his heart was. And then I think some of his next novels were over in New Mexico, where he lived for quite a bit of time as well. But you know, Zane Grey was, my dad had like a whole row of Zane Grey books, which I wish I had still had them, but I had sold them to somebody who was a big Western fan. And I also sold my Louis L'Amour novels that I had bought for my dad, because he loved Western movies with John Wayne and Robert Mitchum and Dean Martin and all those guys. But he also enjoyed reading those novels, and I got him as many of those dime novels, if you will, as I could, because he just really, really enjoyed those. But so those will be the first two that I do for that. So I'll have the series introduction with the Nazareth Gray Cottage, the oldest Moravian building still in existence. We'll be doing that, and then I also want to start, I think I'm going to call it Hometown History Heroics, the history of militaria, something along those lines. There'll be videos that Luke, my nephew Luke, and I hopefully are able to do together. But the first one is going to actually be a story that Kim sent me in a letter about the 1st Minnesota Regiment, which was one of the most heroic charges, and quite possibly, you know, turned the tide of the Civil War, because if they hadn't made that charge and the left flank of the Union had been turned and broken in Gettysburg on that second day of the battle, South may very well have won that battle, and that would have been it. And the Union would have been broken, and we might be living in a very different world. So this is one of those charges that was extraordinarily influential in the history of this country, and a lot of men lost their lives in it. So I want to tell that story, being the first of that series and the introduction. And then, like I said, there'll be other videos I do. I'll probably release not only this video today, but I'll also release the video for Sweet Arrow Lake. It just depends on how, like, I haven't been there for a really, really long time, so it just depends on how close things are. I do believe they have a handicap trail, so as long as it's a trail that has pretty solid footing, then I may try to do something like that. I'd like to take you to the waterfall at least, just so you can hear the beautiful waterfall and just see the lake. I think that'd be a cool experience. It'll be a pretty short video because I do want to make a return to hit some of the other trails as I get healthier and I'm actually able to do, you know, nothing major hiking wise, but just being able to go on a little bit longer of a walk. Try to keep it to basically, you know, like a grocery store trip. That's what I can handle right now. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the channel, on myself again. And I am pretty silent right now, and it's just sort of, I'm tired. I'll admit it, I'm tired. You know, for the people that I communicate with daily, you know, I talk about it quite a bit with them. I feel like, for the most part, I feel good. It does all sort of wear on you. And it's just sort of the stresses of, you know, trying to get this and that done and just not getting anywhere on certain things. And it's just, you know, whatever the reasons, whether it's incompetence or whatever that you deal with on a daily basis with some of these groups. It just sort of is what it is. And, you know, you take it as it is, and I just have to fight a little bit more and be more aggressive in trying to get this stuff accomplished and just be after them every single day, because I need to come up with some closure with some of these things like unemployment and disability. So we'll see where things go, and we're on our adventure. We're about to enter Pine Grove, and we will see you all, as always, about town. Thanks, everybody.